Case is on and tight, and you can see everything's looking good. Spins great. So now the next step is we got to put the ball in here. And a little ball. That spring thing, just like the other ones. And then Allen plug with the blue RTV. Again, torque spec on that is 18 foot-pounds. 22, there's 18. Alright, so that's tight, that's good. Next, there's all these little C-clips. I gotta pull up on that one a little bit. Oops. There we go. So you can see there's 1, 2, 3 grooves, one in each rod, shift rod. And there's 3 little C-clips. 1, 2, 3. So we got a little RTV on it from last time doing the trans. Alright, it says put it on with a hammer, but I just like doing it with a channel lock. I just think it's easier. Open the channel lock a little bit. Get it started in the groove. And then just pull it on. Boom. See? Whoops. I tried to turn it so you guys can see, but I'm just going to do it. Oops, my thing's in the way. I can't turn it. I gotta just do it straight on. There. There you go. Got all 3 of those on. Here's the race. Don't pound it all the way down. You gotta have it draw in with the plate. But do try and put it a little even. I would get it so you just far enough that when you put that plate on and the shim, let's see what this looks like here. Oops, the wrong way, this way. Yeah, that's pretty good. That the bolts will start and the bolts will draw it down. So don't, you got her. This shim's very important. And then you can see that this thing, the hole here, goes to that. But the next step is, I mean, this is still down, but there's a little groove in the bearing for this big snap ring, and it goes around and holds it. It always ends up being down, and you just kind of need to pull it up a little. There. Sometimes you gotta tap it. I'm not sure I did this time, but let's get it on the outside like this. Hold it down, pull it up. Get it, the groove in. There it is. Push it back down. That's it. So now you're going to put this plate on, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 bolts of Torx bits, and these you got to put red Loctite on. There we go, that's good. Just red Loctite these quick. If you watched the video of me pulling apart the transmission to see second gear stripped, you would have saw all the white dust on the gears. You might have thought it was metal shavings, but it was actually just this RTV, because these holes go straight through. So when I took these bolts out, it was just got all over everything on the inside. Alright, so that's good enough. Now, draw them all in, get them all started. Well, that's the wrong size. That's right, that was for the oil pump. That's it. So it's a T45 Allen T45. Remember to make sure that that's up. I like to work, around this because that's the one giving, the drawing down. This is just going to lay flat on this side. It's going to be fine. This on the other hand, we've got to draw that brace into the proper position. So snug these. Alright, let's look at the torque spec. 31 foot-pounds. 3-1. It's going to be hard to do this on buckets and hold it myself, but I'll get it. So that's 31. I'm going to start with the middle, work my way out. What can I grab here? I'm going to try and get it like this maybe. Actually, I gotta take this off. It's easier if I don't have an extension. I was doing the extension so you guys can see better, but there we go. Now I can do it. Let's do this one. Do this one. Toyota doesn't give a sequence. This is what I like to do it. Oh man. Just double check everyone now. That one spun a little more. I don't remember if I did that one. There. That's all good. You can see it's spinning. So everything's going good. You've put in the ball and spring here. You got the 3 clips on, you got this plate torqued. The next, usually I like to double engage gears then, now, so this shaft don't spin so much. So I just like the 2 lower ones, I just tap down. There you go. Now it's locked. Okay, then you're going to take, this is the shim for the bearing on this gear. You go, you put it on, and it sits right on top of that C-clip. Whoops. Then you're going to put the bearings for 5th gear on. See, the bearing sits on top of that thing. And then you just slide 5th gear on over. And there's 5th gear. Just sits on there. Okay. Next, you got the hub, and you have 5th gear on here. It's held in by this C-clip, and the C-clip has this one post sticking up. As you can see, the hub's got right next to the bolt hole, that one. So you just line that up to there and clip it in. So then this just goes on top of here. You line up the grooves, and I mean Toyota, whoops, I popped it out. Toyota has a press like a tool that threads into the shaft here. And then the 3 threads here actually pulls it on, but I don't have that. So I just kind of work it on a little bit. Eventually it gets all the way on like that, and it kind of gets hard. So I like to take a 36mm socket and I hit it on. I'm just going to work it down a little more, and I'll put that clip back on. How do I put this on? There we go. I'm trying to hold the clip up as I pound it down. Oh, come on. There you go. That's all the way on. Now the synchro's on there correctly. Next, you'll take this gear, the drive gear for 5th gear, and obviously this is just going to spin. So as you put this on, this will just spin, so it'll allow it to slide in. Just kind of get it in the right spot to start. This one you can just use like a 30mm socket. Taper it out. This you don't have to worry about getting all the way down, because once you put the nut on and torque the nut, it'll draw it down all the way. So, okay, here's the nut. I'll torque that in a second. Then I got to find the clip for that. Well, it's over here, I think. So now you got the C clip, you put that on. These come in different thicknesses. I always just put the stock one back in, but there's like, I don't know how many different option sizes they have, but it's a lot. There you go, there's that. And next, torque that to 90 foot-pounds. So you got a 30mm socket for this, and it needs to be torqued to 90 foot-pounds. See if I can pull this with my knee here or something. There. So next, we're going to stake this nut. Just take a punch and hit it. I gotta get a punch real quick. I'll just use a flat screwdriver. I got one here. Yeah. Just gotta stake it. Usually I use a chisel point, but a little more. There you go. That's staked. Alright, so on this, not sure if you can see, but you know, there's points on one side and then no points on the other, or no points on the top here. There's points, and it's got points on the bottom. Put that towards the points going down, and you obviously got to put this on at the same time. So you line it up. Get it on there, line up this bolt hole. Put in there, and then you torque it to spec, which is 17 foot-pounds. Torque this. There you go. Disengage everything so it's all neutral. Everything spins. You're getting the fifth. Yeah, it's reverse. Reverse, fifth. Orange RTV again, same thing as the bottom case. Okay, so once you get all the RTV on, as you can see in the case here, there's 10 bolts. So you just, again, same as the lower one, put it onto the dowels. Like this. Put the 10 bolts in, draw it in, tighten it. And torque them all to 22 foot-pounds. Alright, so that's the end of fifth gear. Alright, now that you got the case top on, you can do the shifter, which first things first, you gotta make sure it's all neutral and straight, which we did before, but if you moved it, I always buy a new gasket because it always gets wrecked. There's two things I always buy, is a new gasket and a new nut for the gear stack. Every time I know I'm opening up my transmission, because they just get ruined. So new gasket on, and you just put this so it slides in the middle of all those. There we go. Well, that's a problem, right? There we go. So we do that. Then these are supposed to get coated with blue RT or Loctite, which I've done already. I pre-coated them all. Alright, then you torque it to 14 foot-pounds, all four of these. Alright, next is this is the lock. Put that in. And torque it to 36 foot-pounds. Alright, next you can put on the selector. A lot of people lose this little square thing. That square thing goes, there's a groove in the back here. So And these also get torqued to 14. Okay. Then install the backup light switch, which goes here. And that's the 30 foot-pounds. Okay, and then I do the engine mount plate, which you can see why you have to take this off in order to get to that bolt. And then torque that. So that's, next is the transfer case, and that's it. So wait for this RTV to dry and I'll do it the next day.